Okay, I'll start now. I am Tata Garcia, and I am currently living in Taiwan, and I've been away for the past 5 years. And I am starting this project called the Sala series, and I have together with me a good friend, Cristel Boncan Constantino. And here, let's welcome her online.
Hi. Hey,
Hi.
Sarah. How are you?
Good.
Good. I'm good. It's so nice to have adult conversations because we've been locked down for 7 months, right? In
Yes.
Taiwan, you guys are kind of back to normal a bit.
We haven't
So,
really actually stepped out. We haven't been locked down too much. I think, if I recall, it's almost like just a total of a few weeks, and then life kind of picked up quickly. I think it helps to be in a small country also, compared to other countries.
and Taiwan has just been super efficient, right? But yeah, I'm so happy to be here and talking to you. We also have our other friend Mela, who's a mom of three. I can't believe, Mels, you're like spitting
Hi
out.
guys.
And also an entrepreneur. Because of this lockdown, she's just, you know, she dug down deep and started to figure out what to do. And we also have our other friend Tanya. Hey, Tans.
Hi.
The mom of two. I was about to say three. Two, and also an early childhood educator and an entrepreneur also in her own right, who we call Mama way back. We've called you Mama since high school, grade school. Yeah. So I think it's because you're naturally, you know, very motherly to us. So thanks for having me. Thanks for joining Tata and I, and thanks for having me back. It's just
Yeah.
nice to have girlfriends to talk
Hello guys. Like we're in
Um,
different areas and we haven't seen each other for so long, but it's just nice to reconnect through this platform.
Yeah, thanks, Ta, for setting this up.
no problem. And before I forget, because I pretty much skipped Christelle's rather longer and
Yeah.
more introduction. She is a mother to Pablo, an amazing wife, such a creative person, and a co-founder. And I copy pasted this because it's too complex
Yeah,
for me
people
to
don't
memorize. A co-founder, along with her husband, of a company called Homonym. It is a music specialist agency that provides brand harmonized and audience tuned music solutions for agencies, brands, events, and visual media like movies, TV shows, games. So very unique in our country, and they're, I think, one of the pioneers that began such a company.
Our
So
topic today is gratitude, and I think when you called me about your idea, it was really something that was I was thinking the same things, and it was just like a meeting of the minds at that time. And why don't you tell us how you started this whole thing? This is your other baby.
yeah.
How
Um,
long has this been stewing in your mind?
well, from 5 years ago, before leaving Manila, I was pretty much still in the scene of, I won't call myself an influencer, but basically in the scene of being a new mom and getting projects here and there to promote, whether it's his products or events. Um, and then so absent for 5 years, right? And then also absent in really being there for you guys as moms, and just missing the opportunity to raise our children together. It made me feel really nostalgic. It made me feel sad and to a point depressed that I wasn't in Manila anymore a few months ago. That's how I felt, especially because I knew that I wouldn't be able to go back as frequently or at all because of this pandemic. So I started to feel really sad, um, did not feel motivated at all on a daily basis. And I started to see that certain friends were able to put their passions into work during this pandemic. And if I may call out on some of them, like Belay Fernando, she has this channel along with other football women called Grow Her Game, or like Nikki Daes has Paliwanag, and then Enzo Marcos along with Julo, where they have Buhay Basket. So a lot of these different people actually motivated me to start this project and actually make use of their time wisely, even though they're stuck within their confines of their home. So yeah, I think my husband also was another factor of motivating me into doing this. He's like, do something that will spark joy in your life.
Especially this year, a lot of plans really got derailed.
Yeah,
So people are just looking deep inside themselves to find another reason to wake up, to get motivated again. So,
yeah,
and like this avenue where we get to talk about things that keep us going, that get us motivated, especially at this time that no one really planned for or expected.
yeah.
So that's
So then,
really
long story short, that's basically
yeah.
started.
Like it's
Um,
a combination of all your loved ones and friends for this to happen, really, right? That's
correct.
And planning from Instagram to a blog to a vlog to a
So here we are today. Which is, we're thankful. Actually, these are the things we're thankful for in the pandemic. I mean, despite what's happening, right? There's still a lot to be thankful for. And I think that's super important that we really our Tata really picked out this topic to begin with, because it's so easy to just look at the past 7 months and be like, oh, these plans didn't push through. I was supposed to be here by this time. I should have been in, some vacation, or I should have been done with this so and so project. But things didn't go as planned, like what you said, Mel. So really, I guess to stay sane, we just have the tool, and it's like a magic tool. It's just being grateful. I think that singular um, attitude, I guess, or like that singular practice really changes a lot. And they say that it takes X number of muscles to like frown, like more muscles to frown than it is to smile. And it's like, for me personally, I haven't been out of the house really. I mean, maybe grocery, but not even like I order online, or we started working from home, so I really have been like stuck at home. And when you're stuck at home with a toddler, and you're doing homeschool, and it's like negotiating like 3/4 of the day, you just want to pull your hair out, right? I mean, you feel me, right? So yeah, I guess the topic is very timely. And when Tata called me briefly, my headspace was about, I was feeling kind of not depressed, but I was feeling like four walls were closing in on me, and I needed a tool. I needed something to just keep me sane, because all the things that we used to do, right? Like going out to a mall, or like just sitting by ourselves in a coffee shop, those are out the window. Like there's no more me time to like just step out, drive somewhere. The grocery used to be my me time, but that's not possible anymore. So I was like, really, what can I do to stay sane? Like I had to take it upon myself to figure out like how to just be centered. And Tato's like, you know what? It's about being grateful. So I mean, what do you guys think of that? Has it
you also just start your day by having a grateful mind. Like when I see my family in the morning, I always just say good morning with a grateful heart and with feelings. Like good morning, Matthias, good morning, clocks. Like you just have to be cheerful at home. And also like before going to bed, when we pray as a family, when I hear my children's prayers, for example, thank you for the food we eat, thank you for the rice we eat, thank you for our milk. Like little things that seem to be very ordinary, they just seem big to our children. So it's just reprioritizing and looking at the little things or the ordinary things as gifts, really, as gifts of like being at home, and that having milk or ordering vegetables, it's super precious now because we can't go out, right? And also before going to bed, it's telling my kids like thank you for making life beautiful and wonderful. So at their age, I'm using a lot of words like words of affirmation to make them feel loved. So that's how it is for me. So using my voice and making them feel loved through the things I tell them. So that's how I try to be positive day to day.
So it's as if we're already starting our first subtopic, which is basically our daily practice of gratitude. And so Tanya, could you take us through that?
Yeah.
How it looks like?
basically like Mela, just saying thank you for the little stuff. And same thing, we all started out all in the same boat, like not we were confused. We didn't know what was going to happen. And honestly, I had two
Sorry.
and a 2 year old, and it reached the point where they were both really like, why are we still home? Why can't we see my parents? Why can't we see our cousins? Why can't, and I think it's a shift in our mindset, and also how we dealt with it, and realizing that there are things in our own home that we could be grateful for, that we should be grateful for. So, Lawrence, my husband, and I, we shifted that, and every day we just bring up like, okay, one thing we're grateful for, and like what Mela said, the little things like Noah loves strawberries, so my mom would send over strawberries, and that's what he'd be grateful for. Solana would always say she's grateful for her hard-boiled egg. I mean, something very simple, but you realize like, oh yeah, there's so many things that you could be grateful for. And when you shift that mindset, and when you realize that there are things that you could be grateful for, you become happier. You're not complaining as much. You're not um, looking for more stuff. I mean, it's good to dream. It's good to have ambition, of course. But at this point right now, we're also very stuck, and everything's so confusing. So I think it's a start, and that's also how, like with Melo, we end the day with asking each other what we're grateful for. And then another practice that we do with our kids is whenever somebody sends something. I mean, it could be very materialistic, but people have been sending food or toys or whatever for them. We always make it a point to send a message. I mean, just within a few
Yeah.
seconds. Don't do it later. Do it now. Once you receive it, we let the person know we've got it, and we also remind the kids like, hey, this came from Tita so and so, this came from Lola this, so that they also remember. And when they're playing with it, they actually bring it up like, hey, Tita gave you this, right? Nina gave you that. So it's nice to see that even at such a young age, they're showing gratitude already.
Yeah. So there's actually several moms have shared with me practical tips on how we could practice gratitude on a daily basis. And whether it's post-its, a whiteboard marker, these are some materials you could use. Find spots in your house that you always come across. So my example would be my children's bathroom. There's a mirror. Find a whiteboard marker or a marker that works for glass, and then write things there. I mean, if your kids know how to read, but even if they don't know how to read, you see it while you're brushing their teeth, while you're brushing your own teeth. You can
Yeah.
write on the mirror or stick on the mirror certain things that they're grateful for, or if it's our personal lists. It can be as simple as one word for the
Yeah.
week, whether it's waking up healthy, or that's even a bit more complex pa nga. It could even just be for school or for my sister.
Manageable.
Or even a grateful jar.
Oh, yeah.
You guys remember Kimmy Lou, right? So she came out with this glass jar and then like a stack of colored paper, and then you just write, even if it's words like grateful for apples. Like my son Pablo just loves apples, and every day he asks for an apple. And it's sometimes I ask him at night, like before going to bed, like you guys dance, and I ask like, okay, what are you thankful for? He always says, I'm thankful for you, Mama. And I feel like, okay, like to them it's such a big thing, right? To them it means the world, but it's just a good reminder that we learn from our family also, and from the kids.
Yeah.
How is it like with your spouses though? I mean, like, are you guys are work from home, right? They haven't really been to work, and you're with them more. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Kids under 4. It's a handful for us, definitely. We have no break. Like our house is super noisy, but it's also appreciating him, letting him have his time. There are moments I know he wants to be alone, so it's okay. Give him that space. So that's how I feel like I can show him how we appreciate him. And
That's
also,
great.
like with the food I prepare at home, I know like now, like we're stuck at home, food has been crucial and important because it really changes the mood. Like making sure he drinks his vitamins, making sure his health is good, because we all just really have, that's all we really have right now, right? Like our health. And also, when I asked him what he thinks gratitude is, he said it's really paying it forward. So I guess we're also on the same boat, that we know that we have the responsibility to help and contribute in making things better for other people as well. That that it's not just us, that like we're thankful for everyone that has touched our lives because we've been the recipients of the generosity from these people as well. So in as much as there is joy in receiving, there's also joy in giving back. So I guess knowing that we're on the same boat on how we want to raise our children and how we want to be as people. So that's how my husband and I like try to look at gratitude and being thankful that a lot of people have really helped us and opened doors for us to allow us to live the life that we want to. So that's
Uy,
how.
Melox.
I think just to add to that, and what Christelle said, like we're stuck with our husbands, and you asked if it's a good thing or a bad thing during this pandemic. And honestly, because like Lawrence traveled a lot, right? So we really wouldn't spend 24/7 together. So being together, him working from home changed a lot of things, and it was hard at first, but that's when gratitude comes in because it he realized the hardships that I go through as a full time mom and cooking for them, dealing with these two kids
It's like,
24/7.
welcome to my life.
Yeah, and he's now like, oh, okay. So because before he'd come home and they've been washed, they're relaxed, they've had their merienda, but now it's like no, he sees it from start to end. But also on the other end, I'm also able to see his side, how hard he works, all the people, how draining it is for him to be talking to so many people. So we, because of seeing each other and being more involved in each other's lives, I think we've also grown to be more grateful for each other. And I'm really grateful that he helps me a lot. I can't raise these. I mean, as you know, I don't have a yaya, so I can't raise these two kids on my own. So super helpful to have him there. And yeah, so it's been very helpful for our marriage. And I think when people saying I said a good thing, bad thing, now I'll say it's a good thing that we're together. It's nice that we're learning new things, learning to deal with stuff every day. I mean, it's not always butterflies and flowers, but it's a start. So yeah.
How
Yeah.
about you, Chris? Oh, Chris first.
Me
Yeah.
first? Well, yeah, I mean, Mike and I, because we work together, so even before the pandemic, like even before the lockdown, we would go to the office together, we'd come home together, so it wasn't really like a drastic change, although I do realize that now I have to be even more appreciate, not that I'm not, but I guess I just kind of took it for granted now. Okay, we're always together. In the office we're together. He's like in the desk beside me. At home we're together. But now that he's working from home, he's actually busier. That I have to really carve out like our date nights. So that when I say okay, Wednesday night is date night. So I send Pablo to my sister's house so we can have date night here. And I guess that's my way of, appreciating him and saying thank you for, working so hard. Because honestly, now that it's work from home and I have to take care of Pablo and homeschool and all, it's hard to just work and do the same things that I used to if I was in the office. So I think the power of a thank you and vice versa. Like with you, Tans, the boys see, okay, we have like a long list of like an invisible task list, like for them, it's like they come down, the food's ready,
Yeah.
or like the kids are bathed, or like he's ready for bed, and then all they do is play. Actually, the boys are just playmates, so they're like the most fun. Meanwhile, I'm the negotiator, 5 minutes this, 10 minutes this, it's bedtime, and like this. So for him to say thank you to me and say that I appreciate you or I see you, that kind of like validates, okay, like I'm doing okay, and I'm not like letting the family go, or I'm not making pabaya or what. So I think it goes both ways. It gives you kind of like a boost,
Yeah.
when you're like so tired, so exhausted, and like it's a roller coaster, right? Every day it's like a loop. It's the same thing. But you're right, to kind of cut that, a simple thank you for something, or a simple like, I appreciate that you're doing this, it changes everything. And it's so simple, but so
Yes.
powerful, right? So thank you for reminding me that how we should really incorporate gratitude in everything, in the daily stuff, in our marriages. So for you, Ta, like, I know you have three girls. Like, school's kind of back, right? So Kirk has been back in school. How's
Yeah.
that been for you guys?
One way that I show gratitude towards him, which I actually suck at, is by recognizing the things he's done for me. And sometimes I feel like, oh, parang I have this equation or this exact vision of how my husband should be serving me. And sometimes I think it has to just be directly like towards me. But then we also have to realize that people have different, and this has been mentioned time and time again, love languages, right? And
Mhm.
his way of showing that he cares about me is by taking care of the kids and actually taking them out of the house or playing with them and giving me my space. And sometimes I feel entitled to that. And so I almost automatically like, buti na lang he's doing that. Or like, buti
Oh, wait,
he's,
we're not ba? Joke lang. No, but yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, sometimes I'm guilty of that. You know, I tell Mike, like, yeah, my gosh, I've been with him the whole day. Ikaw naman. But, I realize they're also human, and they work also. Like what you said, Dance, you see how they work too. But it's also not easy trying to, with the
Yeah.
they have their own set of pressures, I guess. And I guess it's at the end of the day, it's teamwork, right? Like, if I can't do it, you'll step in. If you can't do it, I fill in, kind of thing. And in that alone, like, that is something to be grateful for,
Yeah,
right?
like our husbands are all hands on, so that's something we should really be grateful for because I think like the older generations, the dads mostly just worked, right? Or they were scared to hold the babies. But now, fathers are playing an active role in raising their children, like doing the laborious things, like probably giving them a bath, feeding them. So, yeah, I guess this is really just making me realize that I'm grateful that my husband does that too.
and I think once you
Exactly.
start praising your husband for whatever he's talented at or whatever his focus is on, then feeling ko the response could actually reverse, right? Like sometimes if all they do is work office and that's what they're built for and that's what they think is their role, but once we acknowledge and say, "Hey, thank you for putting food on our table financially. Thank you."
Yeah, the pressure to provide is also there, especially at this
In
time.
return, you get. I bet. I mean, I won't bet, but then I suppose that they will start feeling like, oh, I actually enjoy coming home when I am praised,
Like
or
work has also changed for them as well, and they're also adjusting to this new kind of a new way of living. So yeah, a lot of appreciation and gratitude should be given to our husbands, right, girls?
Yes, it's so easy to just take it for granted,
Yeah.
because it's like what you said, natamaan. I got tamaan because you said sometimes I think that way, like, hello, what about me? Like, I'm entitled to me time because look at all that I do. And I hope Mike's not watching now because
he
thank
will
God
later.
he's working now. He will. But yeah, I mean, all the more I'm like natauhan, like, gosh, we really have to be more grateful. And if there's anything we can do in this whole pandemic, it's really that simple tool, like I mentioned earlier. And like, so we talked about being with our husband. I mean, being grateful in a marriage, right? And for me, I also think that modeling a good marriage to our kids is probably the best gift we could give the kids. If they see that, oh, mama and dad like love each other, they seeing that, then they model that also. And I guess it's also modeling gratitude to the kids. Motherhood is not only the relationship between you and the kid, right? I guess when you become a mom, like, you just change as a woman, as a person. Are there any tips that you could maybe say thank you to yourself, right? I mean, if there's self-care, there's also self-gratitude, not to the point of praising yourself, but I think you also need to say, like, hey, I'm doing a good job. Like, maybe I didn't clean the room or maybe I left the kalat in the room tonight, but tomorrow I'll fix it, and that's not bad, right? It's like giving yourself. For me, that's what gratitude also in terms of being a mom is. It's not always just outward all the time. Like you gotta remind yourself, like, wait, I think I'm okay. The kids are fed. They're not sleeping in poop, or they're happy. They're. I guess it seems like they're happy. They're smiling. They're jumping. They're playing. All they do is play all day, and just think like, you know what? That's the best gift. And one thing I'm reminded of is like in this pandemic, who's the happiest? The kids,
Exactly.
because we're home. And one of our pastors said this to me and said, "Your kids are the happiest now." I said, "Wow, that's such a big thing to be grateful for, right?" Like
They're
it's so
still in children, right?
like your kids are happiest when they're like stuck at home, but really,
Yeah.
it's because you're with them, and wow, it's such a gift for them. So I'm happy to be able to even just be aware of that, and tell I mean, like, teach Pablo to say thank you for the little things. You guys, any thoughts?
No, there are days that are really difficult. There are days where we're just going to be sad and down, but just keep going and yeah, look for little things that will make us happy. So that's how I try to approach my children now, just like by being at home, and I'm just acknowledging that all their emotions are valid. You can feel whatever you want to feel, but at the end of the day, let's keep going. We move forward. So that's how I see it.
And your kids will thank you for that. I believe that when they're older, the kids will thank us for, like, letting them go through the whole spectrum of emotions and not like stop crying. Who was that in high
Not,
school?
If you're in public, no, it's okay. Except like if we're too loud.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's a good reminder for me to be grateful
and
in
that's
every aspect.
saying Kanina about like the how the pandemic nga. Like I just remembered something Noah said. One of these maybe a few months ago, he just randomly over dinner he said, I'm sad that there's coronavirus because we can't do so and we can't do this and that. He listed so many things, and then he goes, but I'm also happy. And I said, what? Why are you happy that there's coronavirus? And he goes, because daddy's home. And it's just like,
Oh,
oh, like
that's
he's
good.
like, yeah, that's the only way daddy would be home the whole day. And he was really grateful for that. So it kind of stuck to us, and it made us also more intentional in the things that we do, seeing that, they just love us being there. We don't even have to go all out. We don't have to have like a bouncy castle at home, like just being
Yeah,
there with them. They're grateful for that already. They
you
don't
don't
make
need
they
to
may not
bring Disneyland to
hug us,
them.
kiss us. They, even their actions say they're thankful. So it's nice. It's encouraging also as parents.
Tans,
Yes,
I want
that
to
is.
hear a little bit about how you show gratitude, like towards your ates or your mom, because I think this is a still part of motherhood, right? It's not just showing gratitude as a mother towards our own children, but I feel like in this pandemic, we're not physically with our parents.
Well, actually, nice that you brought that up. I was also thinking earlier, like how gratitude has been instilled in me in particular ever since we were young. My parents have always told us like, say thank you, send a note to your titas or whoever, and I guess that stuck with us, and that's why I'm also doing that with our own kids. And in line with your question, we try to talk once a week with my parents. No, my parents, we talk every day. And I think one form of gratitude and the simplest thing I could do, like when the pandemic happened, I kind of panicked, like how they would get groceries. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
simple, right? But they also don't have help. They can't go out. They couldn't go out. So that was one of the things. So that was instantly like no, no brainer. Do the groceries for them, send it. It would be such a hassle to get this from this supply. I mean, they had particular stuff also. Hi, mom, if you're watching. They had
I think
particular
I
brands. They had particular brands. It's not just like my dad's picky with this toothpaste. So, like I had to find different stuff, and I think that's one way. It's a hassle, but that's a way of concrete way of saying thank you to them. My sisters, we talk also. We're all in different parts of the world, and I see that also. And also, it's nice that you brought up my sisters, because my sister who has 3 kids in Singapore, my ate, sila naman, they talk about every day they have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they share the good, the bad, and the funny, or something that happened in
That's
their
nice.
day until now. So her kids are 17, 13, and 10, and they still do that, and they've been doing so. It's a nice practice. So I think that's also where I got like my version naman, which is a simple "What are you grateful for?" So yeah, they're just simple stuff that we do every
So I'd
day.
actually wanna, before we move on to the next thing, I wanna read a quote, and it says, "A mom who finds the benefits of gratitude in her own life will inevitably pass those benefits on to her children. This positively affects not only her children, but their like not only our children, but their friends as well, their future partners, and overall their future children." So children. So if we as a couple, for example, even or as a person, then as a couple, show that we are thankful for the smallest things, and if it's by prayer before a meal or before sleeping, um, if they know that we practice that daily, it's almost like that's gonna naturally be innate in them. And then later on, will trickle down to like, hey, when their teacher says, what is something special you do at home? And then they're gonna say, well, it's if it happens every day, diba? Parang I bet they'll say in their classroom or to their teacher, well, we pray before going to bed, and then what do you pray about? Or if it's not prayer, what do you talk about? And then after that, their friends will hear it, and then it could be, hey mom, let's pray, or let's say something we're thankful for. So it really becomes a ripple effect, which I think is why as moms we have such an important role in this topic of gratitude,
When you
because
called me ta about this whole thing, I was reading a book. So my tita in the States, her son had passed away from a drug overdose last year. And I mean, for a mom to lose a child and still be grateful for things, that's like a huge thing. And I was reading that book at that time when Tata called me. So it really resonated with me because she said in the everyday things, she used this principle called give. So you ground yourself, you set an intention, you visualize, and you express gratitude. And it's not a coincidence that the last thing is gratitude. And she said, we actually do it already, but we do the opposite. Sometimes when we instead of expressing gratitude, we look at the things we don't have, or the things that we lack or the things we wish we had. But so we do it already, we practice that already every day. But if you just switch it, like flip it, it's so powerful. Really, it's free. It's so free to say thank you for the little things, and I'm learning so much just talking to you guys. I wish we were in like, the same room.
Like
Like that.
planting the seeds while they're still young, right? Like making them feel loved all the time and knowing to not take things for granted. And it's sometimes sad or unfortunate that you have to go through pain to realize what and how precious life really is, and that it's really a gift. So that's what we're doing in raising our kids and wanting them to be grateful family.
And it shapes your overall, like, I guess, perspective in life, and it shapes the everyday, because the everyday turns into, it'll become their habit, and then it'll become their behavior, and then their character, diba? And that's how you kind of mold them that way. I like it. I'm learning so much, and it's just
I think just being intentional, like doing things naturally, and how a simple, like what you said, it was a simple thank you, but again, if the kids see it every day with the little things, it will trickle down to the bigger things, share it with others, and it's just so powerful. It really just
yeah.
so
And you're healthier when you're more
grateful for the
positive,
little.
right? You want to be positive.
Yes,
It's way down. With the good comes the bad, but just focus on the good because it'll keep you healthy. It'll keep you happier, and
No,
by high school.
you probably attract the same energy, right? The same
In high
positive.
school, we used to call you Mel's like Miss Silver Lining, but I think that's the best thing.
I don't know.
I think now looking back, like that's such a good.
It's choosing where you wanna like use your energy, right? So why use it on something that will make you feel bad? So yeah, yeah. I don't know why I'm a silver lining.
No, but it helps. It really helps, Mel. It's true, isn't it? Look, I mean, until
Okay,
now,
Mel,
you still bring it
equalize all of us, realists and pessimists.
Yeah, I think
no, but we,
as we've gotten older, we've experienced more pain, more failures,
yeah.
but we've also chosen the path to be strong for each other, for our family. You know, life is really not easy, but our parents made us feel like it was. They've really protected us and sheltered us. But now that we're going through all this, you appreciate them more. You're more grateful. And I'm just happy that we get to talk about it, and maybe after this I'm going to check on my family and my parents, and just to make them feel and know that I miss them and that I love them. So, thanks girls.
So this
Yes,
this brings
Mel.
thank you, Mela. This brings us to basically how gratitude improves quality of life. And that is basically the sum of everything we've talked about. And it's not anymore this world that kind of think makes us think that quality of life is measured by money, like monetary things or material things. No, I think most especially in this pandemic, we are able to
Yeah.
pinpoint what quality really means. It's like
Yeah.
first to almost just focus on our unit. When I say our unit, whether it's our family, our personal life, even if you're single, it's
Community.
also an opportunity for self-reflection. And then you're able to realize, okay, this is what a quality life is made of. Um, which brings us back to what we mentioned earlier about our daily practices. I think I'd like to leave all of us with maybe one tip, and it's to find someone. I think anyone in life um, does better at something when you have someone like an accountability partner, whether it's our husband, our sister, our brother, our friend, even your daughter or your son, but to remind us, because I really think no matter how simple this practice of gratitude sounds like, it's actually a discipline. And we can easily just start complaining before being grateful. So, yeah, whether it's a note in your bathroom, as I mentioned earlier, or a text in your WhatsApp group, or even in your company's group, um, do something that people are accountable to you so that you can remember. So yeah, that's just a practical tip on how to start this trend of gratitude in our lives.
And it won't hurt for all of us to be like Mela, like Miss Silver
Yes.
Lining. No, it rubs off, right? It rubs off on
Yeah.
you. You're rubbing off on me. And earlier this morning, I woke up with like a massive headache. Did you guys feel the earthquake last night? So like I woke up with the doors rattling and I was so pissed. Like when I opened my eyes, I was like, oh, I only had like 2.5 hours of sleep. But then I realized like, okay, we have this talk today. It's about gratitude. Like, I should practice it this day. I mean, leading up to that. Then my mom came over and my sister came over and it was just like a nice little get together on a weekend, and it changes your mood. It really does. It really does. It's like something you spray and it just changes it. And the more you find things to be grateful for, like you said, it's not about how many plane tickets I have lined up, or like how much new clothes I have. It's really more about seeing it in the everyday things. Or like thank God for cold water. You know when you take a bath at night and it's like hot water, parang I catch myself like, oh crap, because it's like it's just being thankful for the little things. And I guess that's how I wanna leave this talk, or like this like session. I just will be more intentional, like what you said, Dan. So it's just being grateful for the little things, and it's so infectious, is what I was trying to say. It's so infectious,
Yeah.
and it's free to give it away. So give it away, like
As much as
like
you can.
Yeah,
Also, bringing it in, like just being grateful. I'd like to think that it also just shine to others, letting it radiate to others. So, like you said, a simple text, um, a simple call, even a video call, just letting people, because we don't know whose day you might brighten by calling
Right.
them, by
That's
saying
true.
thank you for what they did, what they said. Um, just letting people also know that, hey, we're here for you, or I feel you, I see you.
I'm thinking of
It
you.
makes a difference because I personally feel that when people think me on the, I mean, if tables turned, if people think me like it lifts my mood, it changes the way I see things. So I think that beyond also being grateful, just telling ourselves we're grateful or saying the prayer about that, we should also share it with the others and let others feel that also.
Okay, so before we end, let's go one round, and maybe for those of you who are watching, you could do the same with your kids or your friends or family. Just say a brief statement or a brief phrase or sentence of what we're thankful for right now. Anything. So we'll start with Mela, and then Tanya, Chris, and then
Okay.
Okay, so I guess after talking to you girls, I'd like to say I'm thankful for my husband because he's given me the power to live the life I want by always supporting what what I choose. He's just always there for me, and I guess I don't just get to say it so much because I get so overwhelmed with other children, right? So I'm thankful for my husband, and I hope that we have more time to just really appreciate each other, and I hope that I can make you feel loved more through my actions.
Tanya.
Thankful. Well, Mela said husband, so I'll say family. Um, I said already why I'm grateful for my husband and my kids. I'm grateful that in spite of everything that's happening, they're also making each day bearable and learning to deal with everything and making me also. They may test me, but they make me. I think they make me a better person even more, and I'm thankful for that.
Oh, yeah, that's turn.
Chris.
Yeah.
Me? Okay, since you said husband, kids, I think I'm thankful for friends. Talagang iba, no? Iba. We're not the same. No, I think I'm grateful for friends. I haven't seen you guys since in person. Maybe the last time I saw you guys was what?
Jan,
When you were home, right? That
Polo Club.
yes, with Naz, right? My God, that was the last time I've seen you girls, and this whole 7 months, it's always like my WhatsApp is like full, and I'm happy because then I feel like I'm not always talking to my husband, although I love him, diba? Of course, I'm super grateful for him also, but it also helps to have girls that understand you and you can just vent. No, I mean, it's a safe place there. I think what I'm really thankful for is a safe place within like a group of friends, within you girls, and our other friends, to just be yourself, just ask for feedback, or like questions, like how do I do this? What do I do? Even if it's just like I need meal ideas, like give me I don't know what to make anymore for lunch or dinner.
How do you cook this,
A
Tanya?
good
How do you cook
pork,
this?
yeah, right. Give me ribs. Just thankful for even like a lifeline to just you know have contact to like the outside world. So yeah, and I mean for you guys, I mean whoever who's watching doesn't know this, but we've been friends from like grade school,
20 years.
kinder even. So we pretty much known each other our whole lives, and I'm so thankful that until now we can still talk as if we just pick up where we left off, even if that was in Taiwan and our other friends are have been abroad or have moved abroad. It's just a nice place to kind of like charge emotionally and then kind of go back to like stuff we have to do. So yeah, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. Well, I never thought I'd say this, but then I mean, of course, I'm thankful for her all the time, but I'm thankful for my mom who picks up every single, I mean, at least majority of the time that I do call. And I mean, our relationship has just changed tremendously. I think absence really makes the heart grow fonder. And I guess we could all attest to that when if we were to live back under the same roof with our parents, it might not be the prettiest thing. But I think the distance has really allowed me to appreciate my parents and most especially my mom, because on days where I feel like no one can understand, and even her,
Uh,
no, but even her, even if she doesn't understand, she's just there, and sometimes she's not listening, but then she's there. Yeah, there's just so much unconditional love, and you guys have said everything I wanted to say, so I'm like, okay, my mom. But yeah, overall, I'm thankful for you guys and all our friends as well, because I think what we have, I mean, it's not uncommon in the Philippines, but as I get to know other cultures, it's almost like unheard of that we have the same set of friends since preschool all the
Yeah.
way till probably becoming grandparents. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, thank you guys so much for doing this with me. It means the world.
Thanks,
For you,
Dad.
Brenda, for you.
For 1 hour.
Love.
Miss you. I miss you guys, and our friends are watching.
Thank
Hi,
you.
guys.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. We love you and miss you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end with one last quote, and it's basically, it's not happy people who are grateful, but grateful people who are happy.
Let's.
Thank you for joining the Sala series. I am very honored to have all of you, both guests, Christelle, and my friends, and other people watching. Thank you so much, and see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.